Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog.
Coach, the rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's a scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with the Cleveland Browns.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now the third leading rusher among rookies last year, it's Nick Chubb. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
He gets it to Brown, complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 41-yard line. Nice big gain there from Marquise Brown, first-round pick out of Oklahoma. Of course, his cousin knows a thing or two about big catches in the NFL. That's Antonio Brown. And now Hollywood hoping to carry on the family tradition of solid production at the wide receiver position. Jackson, option right. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a 3rd down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Throwing is Jackson. That's out to Chubb, complete. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So, 2nd catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. And
he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Running it with the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year a season ago, Saquon Barkley. And this will go for 5 up to the 33.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But The main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Here's Mayfield. And he's got his man. That's Landry. He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. A run here with Dearness Johnson. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship. Mike's 49. Hey, alert, 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 alert. My touch.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Von Miller. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called. Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Got a man, it's Brown. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 13, it's a first down. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Brings up 3rd and 1. Our time. It's our time. Bang, 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 bang.
Jackson, option right. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. If it was sunny, maybe this is a field goal attempt, but with the rain, they're going to go for it on 4th down. Now Jackson, that's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. To throw is Jackson. To throw again. They'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
It's a gain of 5.
He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Jackson, options out left. And I think the ball's out, and that is going to skip out of bounds. So a break there for sure. They'll hold on to the possession at the 5-yard line. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Tucker named the league's all-pro kicker for the 3rd time in 2018.
Go ahead and admit it. The only time that you get excited about Justin Tucker kicking is when he actually misses. And excited is not the right word. Surprise is more what we're talking about. 90.1%. coming into 2019. He's incredible.
Watch twins. King.
Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. And the ball is knocked out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. It's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. Mike's 49. Mike's 49. D. Check 13.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
80 weapons. He's coming. Regular.
From the gun, Mayfield. He finds his target, Beckham. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 1st half. A 4-receiver set here. 3 to the left, 1 to the right, 2nd and 6. Now Mayfield. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. So without making excuses, you have to figure that this rain has had an impact now on both of his missed field goals.
It's one of those situations that's really difficult to practice for and tough to prepare yourself against. It's just a whole different animal kicking in the rain, and we've really seen him struggle.
Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the 2nd half. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. The lane opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a first after a gain of about 9.
Let's go.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
Hey, alert 33.
Mike front four.
We own them. We own them.
He's crossing.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a 1st down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
Point it right, point it right, point it right.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. That's something we saw over and over again in Barkley's rookie season. He had 91 catches last year, most ever by a rookie running back. Part of a fantastic rookie campaign that saw him go over 2,000 total yards. We'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Saquon Barkley. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point by Seibert up and good, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week, and this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back, and they did a great job in the first half. And now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. Now the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
Alert, 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 alert. X3, 218, chop. Run, run, run.
Switch gears, switch gears.
What?
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
180. Alert, 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 alert.
Throwing on 2nd down. Mayfield. His throw caught at about the 5. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
180. Regular. Pilot, 64.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. Called out a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
You're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he takes this one in for a Browns score. Ricky Ortiz, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns have taken the lead. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Calais Campbell finding his way home for the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Mayfield to the right side, and he's got Landry complete. On 3rd and 1, here's Mayfield. And these guys are going to have the football back as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. Fighting through. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. The tackle made by T.J. Carey. From just shy of midfield, Jackson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Jackson always a threat to run. He's got the 1st down. He was the NFL's leading rusher among QBs a year ago. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down. They give the Chubb out of the gun. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. That'll be a pickup of 4 as they work with his 4-point 4th quarter lead. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They toss to Ingram. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Forced out to his left. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. Tuck Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 17-14. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward. I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. A run for Nick Chubb. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner. And there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as it'll come with an even 90 seconds remaining on the clock. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Here comes Grant on the return. Nearly a huge return as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time,
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
Check 26, check 26.
They'll look to throw. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Mayfield on 4th down. He finds Beckham complete. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Mayfield now 14 out of 17, 82%, and it's 1st and 10. He's back to throw. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ballgame. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's Austin Seibert now for the Browns field goal. This to potentially send us to overtime. And that is no good. Wide to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they got themselves in position to at least entertain the thoughts of an overtime, but as it turns out, it was not meant to be, Charles.
And you feel bad for a kicker in this spot. He's going to have to shoulder a lot of the blame, but in reality, this will be a team loss. They didn't do enough collectively to get the job done.
On first down, Chubb going to get forward for only about a couple. 2nd and 8 forthcoming. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Down to a knee goes Jackson, and that should seal it. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Ravens, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin.
Yeah. One up and up is magic. With the game, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to back. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing. Now I hit the scene, they like lights, camera, action. Living in a dream, now my music, they be blasting. Step out, I'm a star, always in the latest fashion. Had to set the bar, try to catch me lacking. Bank account for my son, he won't have to struggle. You can see it in my eyes, all I do is hustle. They tried to knock me off my feet, I'm ready to rumble. Felt like I ain't ate in weeks, working off the muscle. Oh yeah.